welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Lesson on Classics. This is episode number 1810 and Doubleshot number 1804. I got two Daredevil trades for you. First up it is Marvel Masterworks Daredevil Volume 7. This contains issues 64 to 74. Yes, roughly 11 issues. Yeah, I've switched over from the Epic Collection to the Marvel Masterworks purely because the fact that there's not a lot. There is a couple of Epic Collections, 4 and 5, that does collect these, but the website I'm using from doesn't have those issues, doesn't have those trades, so Marvel Masterworks is. This book also contains issues 35 and 36 of Iron Man. Yes, Iron Man. Which, by the way, these issues themselves, basically, some of the early issues in here are the final issues under Roy Thomas's tenure. Yeah, his run was not very long, surprisingly. Yeah, I was like, really? Yeah, really. Because he skipped one issue. Yes. Yeah, this book does contain some of his final issues. Of these issues, one he skips. Yes, one he skips. And I think that was issue 60. Was it 68? I think it was. No, I think it was 60. This one? No, I think it was 70. Yeah, 70 was the one he skipped. Was that by Gary Frederick, who basically did some co-writing for him. Yeah. And yeah, it's like a very short run. It's like Stan Lee, 50 straight issues. Roy Thomas, 20 issues out of 21. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Though Conway's run was a little bit longer than that. So, these issues mostly put is Daredevil in LA. Yeah, he's basically in LA for a lot of this period of time. It's like Roy Thomas. By the way, with the exception of the issue in the cover, issue 6, which is basically a standalone appearance of Stiltman, which that does happen here. That was his first appearance in 2 years at that point. This was published in 1970. His next appearance now to issue 102. 3 years later. Yeah. And I'll get this up with Iron Man. Jerry Conway takes over issue 72 and does it for quite a while. First up, we had the return of the Stumpmaster. Yep, the Stumpmaster. Who actually returns to issue 67. Yep. We have a return of him first time since issue 58. Yeah. Of course, you have Daredevil also fighting the freaking Gladiator again. Well, actually, in flashback. Yeah, but mostly because basically the best gist of these issues is basically Daredevil hangs out in LA with his girlfriend Karen Page. And the 6566 is a two-parter about this man called Brimstone. It's a two-part story about this mysterious murderer known as Brother Brimstone, who's attacking Karen Page, who stalks her throughout these 2 issues. And plus, love the artwork by the late Gene Colan. It is really good. You have these like series of murders happening, and turns out there's a couple different ones. One was an actor, the other, of course, was another guy who was basically portraying him, who was the one killing doing the murders. It's only just a quick 2-part story. It's okay at best. I mean, the best thing about this 2-parter is the artwork. Yes, Gene Colan does an absolute fantastic job doing Daredevil. Yeah, for a guy who's basically noteworthy, usually be a horror artist, he does a really good job here. This is one of those times, basically, his artwork does fit. I've never encountered a book with him on it that's not technically a horror book, and, well, not technically a horror book, and having to do the artwork. Now, 6-7, I'm going to talk about that. It's a one-off return for the stunt for Stiltman, who ends up nearly killing the Stuntmaster in these issues. Yeah, why the heck did Roy Thomas bring back for one last night before he ended this run? I have no idea. And then you have 68, which is a group, which is a one. This is basically a standalone issue. Oh, by the way, I should put up the cover logo. For a little while, they kind of split the logo with a hyphen in the middle. Then later on, they switch over to this. You have a group known as Phoenix. It's a boxing issue. Yes, it's a one-shot group who want to take on stuff with boxing. And that's basically it for these issues. Is there any like major debuts in issues? Not really. I mean, Usually, if you think about it, like you have Daredevil fighting a bunch of like no-name villains for these issues. Basically, not really big name. Brown for quick two-parter. That's it. 69 is basically like you have Daredevil team with the Black Panther. Yes, the Black Panther in his second time he appeared in the book, where the team with a group known as Thunderbolts. And you're thinking, Thunderbolts? This is the 70s. Thunderbolts don't show up until the late 1990s. Not that Thunderbolt. This is a completely different version. Also, this issue is noteworthy for debuting the character Turk Barrett. You're thinking, Turk Barrett? That name sounds very familiar. Did he pop up on the Daredevil Netflix show? Yes, he did. This comic is his debut. And if you're curious, though, what does Turk look like in the book? Well, that's him, the guy in black. That's Turk. Yeah, he's basically he's roughly a minor Daredevil villain who still occasionally appears. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah, he's a... It's mostly like another standalone issue that's mostly put in this one. And then 70 is just basically stuff related to this guy called Turbine. Turbine. Yeah, he's on here just for these 2 issues, and that's pretty much it. It's all about going trial stuff. It's not that interesting. Good dialogue, though, but yeah, he's not that interesting of a villain. And of course, you return of Foggy Nelson's absent for several issues. Yep. And then you have Jerry Conway take over this issue right here, issue 72. I'm gonna end it's in a bit. Gotta go with dinner. Guy called Leprous. Yes. Who is? I love the guy's movements. It seems like this character was meant to be Kraven the Hunter, but maybe, and this is just my personal theory, maybe that even though this is probably planned to be Kraven, maybe the Spider-Man editor didn't want to use Kraven, so to use somebody just to create an original character. It's like basically based on his movements, the way he moves and attacks. It's like he's supposed to be Kraven the Hunter, but yeah, he's just a one-shot character. He appears as one issue and that's it. Now, what's the purpose of the Iron Man issues in here? Well, that's part of a crossover with Daredevil. Yeah, a 3-part story involving Nick Fury teaming with Iron Man to deal with Scorpio, who is Jake Fury at this point in time. Yep. Yeah. It is by far one of the coolest ideas for a story. I mean, I love the Zodiac. Interesting that we brought the Zodiac in for this great multi-parter. Yeah, I think the Zodiac, this of course is the Zodiac Cartel. Yep. They appeared just for these for this quick 3-parter. Yep. Which they previously appeared in 2 issues of Avengers. Yeah. But it's an absolute really good action-packed 3-parter. Yeah. Yeah, Nick Fury possibly coming to Scorpion, but don't worry, he doesn't. But just a really excellent 3-parter. And also, Jerry Conway was the writer of the book at the time, so I guess he figured out why not do this brief little crossover. But I'm going to have to end it here because basically Separ's ready at this point. So, part 2 a little bit later. But I'm going to give the rating for this particular Masterworks Daredevil Volume 7 I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Mainly because some of the issues basically just okay at best. Probably the best issue here, probably the 3-part crossover with Iron Man, which takes the freaking Zodiac, which I thought was so awesome. And probably also the only thing I can throw in there a good issue is the Stuntman issue. It's not Stuntman, the Stiltman. Okay? But yeah, next part basically discuss a Daredevil Epic Collection. Which one? You'll find out in the next part. Okay, next video. Bye.